Welcome to the next lesson. Today we are going to talk about design definition in general, about UI, UX, careers, and businesses that we may possibly help. And at the end of this lesson, you will understand how the career path that you would choose can align with your personality. Let's kick things off by talking about design. Now, when we say design, what comes to your mind? A quick image search in Google will probably get you these results: explosions of paint, illegible typography, and patterns of many colors. Basically, images that poorly represent what design actually means. Unfortunately, this is the assumption that most of the world has about the design profession. This assumption is even true for many designers, unfortunately, who ignore or forget the true values of design, making the profession less valuable. But design is more than just making things look pretty, right? It's about solving problems and making life easier and better. Design has been actually an integral part of our life since the very beginning. The concept of design emerged as soon as humans began to create tools, structures, and objects to meet their needs. So the earliest form of design can be traced back to prehistoric times when humans crafted tools and weapons for hunting and survival. Which means design emerged as a response to human needs for better tools, structures, and experiences. As societies advanced, the need to improve and innovate various aspects of life led to development of design principles and methodologies. And even though most people think that design is about making things look pretty, design is much as an art as it is a science. Imagine your favorite smartphone. It's not just a bunch of parts. It's a masterpiece of functionality and beauty working together. All right, let's zoom in a bit and talk about UI UX specifically. As technology rapidly advanced, digital products became an integral part of our daily lives, and in the early days, interfaces were often clunky and difficult to navigate, leading to frustration and often to inefficiency. As a result, UI UX design evolved to bridge the gap between technology and human behavior. As more products and services moved into the digital, there was a need to create more interfaces that were easy to use and provided seamless user experiences. So what UI UX abbreviations mean? UI stands for User Interface Design, and it's all about the visual and interactive part of the digital product. Its mission to make the user interface looks good and super easy to use. On the other hand, UX is short for User Experience Design. It's all about the big picture, the overall experience users have while interacting with the product. And we're talking about creating an experience that's not just functional, but meaningful. It's like crafting a journey that's tailored to the user needs, emotions, and end goals. Here's a simple example. You can see a verification form. All you see visually is UI. But the decision to make the verification through the code and the decision to make this input single but look like multiple is a user experience. This way, for example, user won't have to click to another input block to type in the number. Another UX decision can be here to pre-populate this form by inserting the code from SMS that had been sent to the phone number. Now, imagine UI and UX as two best friends. They hang out a lot and work closely together, but they also have their own unique personalities. UX is the deep thinker. It's all about understanding users, conducting interviews, and delving into the psychology of it all. UI, on the other hand, is the visual artist. It's responsible for the physical stuff you see on the screen. But the truth is, UI actually lives inside the realm of UX. And think of UX as a big umbrella. Together, they create a seamless experience that makes you say, wow, this app is awesome. So no matter how people say, but UI and UX is deeply connected. And you will see later on that maybe in enterprises and big companies, UX can be a separate role because you are so dive deep into the details that you, for example, explore only the user behavior or a specific feature, then these roles can be split. But if you're working as a freelancer or if you're just one designer in a startup, both of these roles will be mixed together and tied deeply. Now, why do we even need to talk about design careers? Well, as we delve deeper into the course, you might start wondering how you can use your new skills and how you can grow in your design journey. And that's something what we are going to uncover. As we look at this screen, you'll notice a hierarchy chart illustrating different design job titles. The most senior position is at the top, while entry-level roles are listed at the bottom. Let's explore a couple of them. First, we have the web designer. This role focuses on creating visually appealing and functional websites. It's a foundational position where you start honing your design skills. Next, there is UX and UI designers. This role involves crafting user interfaces or user experiences, ensuring that digital products are both visually pleasing and user-friendly. As you progress, you might become a specialized UI and UX designer. This involves a deeper understanding of user needs and interactions. From there, you could branch into various directions, such as product designers. They take a broader approach, considering the end-to-end experience of a digital product or service. Lead designer position involves guiding a team of designers, sharing your expertise, and shaping design strategies. Design manager or director oversees design teams, collaborate with other departments, and contribute to the company design vision. And finally, at the peak, there is a chief design officer. In this role, you're not just shaping design strategies, but you also influence the entire organization, creative direction, and innovation. But design careers are not always a linear and straightforward progression, and they can vary significantly depending on the organization, industry, and individual preferences. Design career paths can be flexible and offer various opportunities for specialization and growth, and for that, I would like to consider the framework proposed by David Maister. It highlights 4 types of practices, depending on the level of client contact and customization required. To make these roles easier to grasp, David uses this medical terminology, such as pharmacist, nurse, brain surgeon, and psychotherapist. So let's delve deeper into these roles, starting with a broader understanding before applying them to the design context. The first, pharmacist. In this type of consulting practices, because we are talking about the consulting framework, clients are seeking relatively familiar services and do not require extensive customization. The focus is on providing standardized services effectively and cost-effectively. The work follows strict technical standards and the process is well specified, leaving little room for client contact or customization. And that's something we can think of when we think about the pharmacist role. It's akin to creating pre-designed website templates or UI kits with minimal customization options if we are talking about the design niche. Another role is the nurse. Nursing practices also offer familiar services, but the emphasis here on providing counseling and guidance to the clients throughout the process. Clients seek nurturing and involvement in decision-making. The next type of practices is nurse. Nursing practices also offer familiar services, but the emphasis here is on providing counseling and guidance to the clients throughout the process. Clients seek here nurturing and involvement in the decision-making. Consultants in this type of practice help clients arrive at their own conclusions rather than providing independent recommendations. So, your aim for client-involved results, much like collaborating with a startup to conduct user interviews, analyze their behavior, and conduct design customized UI solutions. The next one is the brain surgeon. These practices involve highly customized, innovative, and creative solutions. Clients approach brain surgeons with complex and unique problems that require cutting-edge thinking and expertise. The focus is on delivering high-value, specialized services with limited client interaction. I will highlight here, limited. This could be like designing a unique branding identity or tackling specialized design challenges that require creative expertise. The psychotherapist or family doctor. The psychotherapist practice is similar to the brain surgeon in terms of customization, but with much more client involvement. Here, clients seek close collaboration and understanding of their problems, and consultants act as a diagnostician partners, helping clients understand their challenges and explore potential solutions. The instance from the design niche can be partnering with a large e-commerce company, conducting in-depth user surveys, and developing persona and designing a personalized and cohesive user experience. We can put these roles together in such a graph. And if we will align this to the design niche, you can see it as this. Pharmacist. Think of this as an entry-level role in the design world. A junior web designer, for instance, falls under this category. Here, you're focused on executing design tasks, creating simple website, basic logos, and straightforward designs. It's like following a tried and true recipe. You stick to the norms and standards to create something functional. Not much creativity, not much guidance. The next one is the nurse. As you gain experience and confidence, you move to a more interactive role. A senior UX UI designer fits the bill here. You're not just following instructions, you're providing guidance to the client, suggesting your own design solution, and adding your touch of creativity. It's about nurturing the design process and ensuring the client feels supported and understood. The next one is the brain surgeon. Now we are getting into the realm of creativity and innovation. Imagine yourself as a product designer or a lead designer. This role requires a higher skill level. You're not just following a recipe anymore. You are creating a unique dish. You are the master of creative solutions, and you focus on pushing the boundaries. It's like performing surgery on design challenges, aiming for cutting-edge solutions. And in this case, client come to you and seek solutions from you. He may not give you guidance. He may not ask for interactions. He come to you as to a professional who knows what he does. And at the peak, we have the psychotherapist. This is where you're not just designing. You're like leading the orchestra, the entire design symphony. You're collaborating with different teams, shaping the direction of the company, and making impactful decisions. It's like diving deep into the psyche of design and business and crafting a holistic experience. As we explore these roles, remember that design careers can be just as diverse and nuanced as these medical archetypes. Each role brings its unique blend of skills, challenges, and rewards, catering to different levels of client interaction and creative specialization. Switching role can cause problems, and I would like to highlight that. Imagine you are a junior designer, sort of like a pharmacist in the design world. Your job involves doing regular design tasks, just like how a pharmacist gives out standard medicines. Now, let's say you want to take on a bigger, complicated project that needs the skills of a more experienced designer. If you jump into this without enough experience, client might get upset because they expected some top-notch solutions that you might not be ready to provide. And it's not just about making client happy. If you take on the work that you're not fully possible to finish, first of all, your reputation can suffer from this. You may lose your own motivation to work as you will think that you're not good enough for this kind of work. And clients might not just want to work with you anymore. And that means you lose money and their trust. On the other hand, let's say you are a talented designer doing small jobs like making business cards, which is a bit like being a pharmacist too. Even though you will finish definitely this task as they are quite simple for you, you might not feel satisfied because they don't challenge your skills. It's like a mismatch between your abilities and what you are doing. This can lead to burnout, where you are tired of everything, and that happens quite often. So the point is, switching roles without thinking can make you and your clients unhappy. It's better to know your strengths and slowly learn new things. That way you'll have a smoother and more enjoyable career in design. It's like staying in your own lane and doing what you're really good at. And lastly, I would like to talk about clients, people who have some businesses that need our help. Just like it's important to know your niche and role, it's also crucial to understand the kind of businesses you might collaborate with. So let's dive into that. There are three main types of businesses. We've got small businesses, so called also SOHO, medium-sized ones, and then the big players known as enterprises. Each comes with its own unique characteristics and opportunities. Let's start with small businesses. These are the cozy spots like local cafes or your friend's small construction company. Typically, they have only few people working there, maybe 3 to 5. When you work with small businesses, you might be only designer that they have. You'll communicate directly with the owner, make decisions, and take the action. This is great if you love flexibility and being in the control. The upside, you are the boss. The downside, well, you're also responsible for that all. Medium-sized businesses. Imagine a business with a team of about 5 to 250 people. It can differ. These are medium-sized businesses. Here you might not communicate directly with the owner, but rather a manager or a lead designer. Though you can be that lead designer and communicate directly with the owner. That depends. You could be an in-house designer working on various projects within the company. This usually means more structure and less flexibility, but you'll likely be collaborating and working in a team, which has its own pros. The last one, enterprises. These are the big players like Apple, Google, or IBM. They've got a well-established structure and processes. If you work there, you might find yourself focusing on a specific project for a long time. They might have strict brand guidelines and design systems that you will need to follow. This might mean you will have a little bit less creative freedom, but hey, you are part of a big machine that makes big moves. Now, when it comes to your role, you've got options. You can be a freelance designer, where you are your own boss and you've got the freedom to pick your projects. Or you could work in an agency, collaborating with a variety of clients. And in an agency, you might not always communicate directly with clients. And sometimes another designer might lead the way. Pay might be a bit less, but you'll get a taste of different projects. Finally, you could be an in-house designer working within a specific company, maybe even just on one product. You'll be like the guardian of that product design, ensuring it's consistent and aligned with the brand. It might feel a bit more stable, but you might miss out a variety of freelance or agency work. Now, as we consider this linear career path, frameworks, clients, and businesses, and the employment type, I want you to look at this. From linear graph, product designer is placed above UX designer. But the question of who is higher or more advanced in the design career can be quite subjective. That's something I want you to understand. It's like trying to determine who is smarter, an engineer or a mathematician. Each role brings its own unique set of skills to the table. In this context, a product designer might have a broader skill set, delving into business, marketing, and communication skills. They're like all-around performers adapting to different stages and scenarios. On the other hand, a senior UX designer could be a master of their specific niche, deeply knowledgeable about user behavior and interaction. And in this case, who is higher in the career path? You choose. Moreover, if you have a business mindset and great communication skills, you can head towards being an agency owner, though maybe you don't even need that much of communication skill. Maybe you just have so much ambition to lead and to create something new and to work just for yourself and to gather people around. Though that applies a lot of risk, require more responsibility and require for you to be initiative. While being a chief officer on an in-house position give you a safe position and stable income. The key takeaway here is that design careers don't follow a rigid linear path. You have the possibility to engage in diverse projects across various business sectors, collaborating with different clients and adopting different employment types. As a result, your earnings can fluctuate based on the choice. Ultimately, every design career path can bring you enough money and can be fulfilling. The decision factor comes down to your preferences, personality, and the choices you make along the way.